So I hope you all had a good day. I'm changing the exercises ever so slightly today, so you all need to pay attention, but it's the same equipment. So tins or dumbbells if you have them, and you want a bit of a challenge. The exercises I'm going to do sitting and standing. So some of the exercises you can choose to sit or stand or change position midway, but I will demonstrate it's sitting first and then move to standing. Some of them will need the tins or your dumbbells, or you can do without weights if you prefer. So again, the aim is just to keep people mobile, keep things going, get your blood moving around your body, and keep you flexible as much as we can. Okay, so let's get started. So to start with, I'm just going to get my chair and pump you up again. So dining room chair, just going to sit to start with, hands on your waist, lightly on your waist, and you might want to perch on the end. I keep hitting the back of the chair, and you're just turning your upper body, let your head go with it, just keep that movement going. So this is better for twisting if you feel a bit unstable, you feel that balance is a bit of an issue, or dizziness. So just keep that movement. If you feel like you're stable and you're quite happy, evening Stuart, are quite happy standing and no balance issues or no dizziness issues, then do the same, but you're just doing standing up. So just keep that movement going. This is just getting the spine moving, the hips going. If you're stood, if you sat down, it's just getting that lumbar spine and thoracic spine and introducing the movement into the shoulders. Okay, so back to the chair. So this you could do sitting and standing. So sitting, we're going to work a little bit through the upper back, try and get you working in the opposite position that we tend to slouch or slump in all day or work in front of us. So arms in front, your backs of the hands are to the ceiling, and you're just rolling forward, bring your arms back and then up to the ceiling. You don't need a great range of movement, you're just taking your arms up to the ceiling, and that should be putting a little bit of extension through your thoracic spine and getting things moving in the opposite direction. Don't worry if your range of movement isn't the same as mine or the person next to you if you're doing it with your husband or wife. And you've got to start somewhere. So that's the sitting. If you want to do it sitting, continue doing that. If you want broad foot base, feet about hip width apart, and you're just bringing your arms and kind of pushing up with the back of your hands. So if you see there's a bit of a leaning back through your upper back. Okay, so that's getting the spine nice and warmed up and getting you mobile. And we're just going to get the hips and the shoulders going. So if you're sat on a chair, I will show this standing again in a moment. So opposite arm to opposite leg, just reaching up to the ceiling. Okay, so that's just getting the blood pumping a little bit, putting a bit of movement through your hips and your shoulders. If you want to do this standing, you carry on doing this sitting if you prefer. Standing, just arms okay, so the sitting's pretty good if you're a bit uncomfortable with balance, a bit unsure and a bit unsteady. Standing just is that little bit harder, a little bit more demanding, just gets things going. Okay, so we're going to move on to some strength training. So we're going to be working bottom, low back and thighs to start with. So I'm just going to turn the chair sideways on actually so you can see where I'm sat on the seat. So I'm going to sit perched on the edge of the seat, so my bottom is on the edge of the seat. I'm very close to you today. So sitting on the edge of the seat, you're going to start off, this is basically squats, okay? So we're just starting to lower abs. So the whole time you're doing this workout, you want a little bit of tension through your lower tummy muscles, the lower abs, a little bit tight. So you're holding yourself, maintaining good posture, and just challenging those muscle groups for balance and strength all the time. So sitting nice and tall, a little bit of tension through your lower tummy muscles. Standing, you're going to sit down with your hands across your chest, and then as you stand, just reach out then sit down, and then up. Okay, I'm just gonna, I seem to have all the camera angle funny today. Down, up, and down. So just keep that movement going. I've learnt about my counting because I'm not too great at it. So what I'm going to do is just keep going. If you're doing this at home, you can aim to do 10 to 20. But because I'm talking to you the whole time, I'm not entirely sure how far I get. So between 10 and 20 is a good start. If you feel that you can push it, then take a break, 30 seconds, and repeat, do another 10. Okay, so that's your, as you're standing, a little bit of tension through your bottom, and then back down. Okay, as you can hear, I'm getting a bit breathless. It's quite challenging, that one. Moving on, and we're doing the leg abduction ones that we've been doing against the, sorry, something's just come up on my screen, just going to press the button. Doing the leg exercise, I'm going to use the chair today, just because I decided it's probably not a great thing having my back to you for 5 minutes. So standing, looking forward, resting on the chair, as little or as much as you feel you need, and you're going to bring your leg out. So this is working glutes, so your buttock muscles, lateral side of the thigh, helps with stability when you're walking, strength when you're walking up those hills. If you're a hiker and you like getting out on the mountains, this is a good exercise for all those muscles. That and the sit to stand are great for strengthening the thighs and the legs. So again, we're aiming for 10. And then repeat on the other side. So make sure you stood nice and tall, hands rested as much or as little as you want on the back of the chair, and just taking your leg out to the side. Okay, it's a little bit of tension through your other bottom cheek as you're stood there, just to keep you stable. Lovely. If it's a little bit much, take a break, have a moment rest, get your breath back, and then carry on. This time, hips, I'm going to work a little bit on the glutes. So again, so you can see what I'm doing with my leg. This time, rather than coming to a little bit to the side, that's what we were just doing, hands rested as much as or as little as you need on the chair. You're just going to bring your leg up behind you. A little bit of bent knee is fine. But what you're working is the top part of the hamstring muscle, so up here, and your buttock muscle, and obviously you've got a little bit of tension going on through your lower tummy muscles. So quite buttocky workout today. Don't know if that's the right thing to say. Okay, so again you're aiming for 10 to 20. Take a moment, just jiggle everything, get it all relaxed again, change feet. I'm going to turn face the other way so you can see. As much or little resting on the back of the chair. Rest your toe, a little bit of a bend in the back of the knee, in the back leg. And then just rest, just lifting up behind you. So lower abs, lower tummy, a little bit of tension as you're doing that. And you're keeping your body upright so that you are working your gluteal muscle. So here, I'm not doing that, which is working the other leg. So nice and tall body, keep that still. And again, aiming for 10 to 20. Okay, so take a moment, walk on the spot, just get the blood going, let those muscles relax again. So we can do, we're going to do upper body. This area I should demonstrate with and without the chair. You might want your jeans. I'm just going to put my pin on the floor under my chair. Oh no, actually I need both sides. What am I talking about? So sitting, so doing this exercise sitting, you want your feet about hip width apart, a little bit of bend at the waist, and you're just, okay, so you're, they call it this suitcase row, I think. It's like picking your suitcase up. Okay, so you can do it sitting. if you want to do that, keep going. I'm going to show it standing. So move the chair out of the way. So a little bit of bend in the knee. Stick your bottom out ever so slightly, and your back straight, and you're just doing that action. Okay, so if you're doing it with dumbbells, it might be a bit heavier than my tins of beans. This is working your upper back. So you're bringing your shoulder blades together as you do that action, and then the arms are coming in last. So that's working upper back, up at top of the shoulders at the back, and the arms. Okay, nice. Okay, feel good. So back to chair if you need it. This is going to be a bit more sort of torso strengthening because we're doing opposite arm to opposite leg. So sitting nice and tall. I'm going to do standing as well. So sitting, you're just doing this. Again, you might be a bit concerned about whether or not you can touch your elbow to your opposite knee. Don't worry about that, you've got to start somewhere. We'll get there in the end. Just start doing something. If you're doing this, you're lapping the people sat on the couch. So that's the sitting, keep going if you are doing it sitting. If you're doing it stood, so you're going to make sure your feet are nice hip width apart, opposite elbow to opposite knee. Okay, so going at your pace. So this time it's not so much about numbers as time more than anything. So just trying to keep that momentum. This is working through getting your heart working and working those muscles through the torso because you've got a bit of twist and bending. Okay, lovely. Lastly, for the strength side of things, we're going to come back to our weights. This exercise can be sat down or stood up. Oh, actually I only need one tin for this because I haven't got big enough hands. So dumbbells quite nice for this because you can change the weight. So we're just what they call wood chopper. So again, opposite side to opposite side. So that's sitting, breathing out on the downward action. Okay, and you change sides. If you're doing this stood, doing that action, so you're really reaching behind you as much as you comfortably can and turning through your body. Okay, and then changing sides. Okay, so that's getting those muscles going through your body, through your torso. Lovely. We are going to move to the floor or bed if you can't get up and down off the floor comfortably. Just going to bring the thing down. There you go. Bridge, grey bridge. Lying down on your back. Going to have your feet hip width apart, knees bent, feet flat on the floor. Hands on the floor too. And what you're going to do is you're going to lift your hips up into the air. So as you do that, what you're going to do is tighten your bottom and curl your back off the floor. So I'm going to do that again. So roll your hips and roll each bone in the spine, each vertebra up at a time. So you have to tighten your bottom. Your lower abs should be working at the same time. So then roll down again. So roll up, lift your hips, bit of tension through your lower abs, bottom tight. You can hold that for a couple of breaths if you're comfortable doing that. If not, just make it a repetitive exercise rather than a maintaining. As you get stronger, you'll find you'll hold it comfortably for longer. What you're aiming to do is look like a wedge of cheese, and this is good for buttocks, low back, through your thighs. The thing is sometimes you can get, if you're not used to this movement, and you get a bit of cramp in the leg. If that's happening, just stretch out a bit. It may be that you just need to do it for less length of time. You may literally just need to do that and then back down and develop the stamina to be able to hold it, because that's often what brings on cramp in the back of the leg in this movement, is that you're tight through the hamstrings because you're not strong enough here to hold yourself up. Okay, next we're just going to stretch out, so we're going to do some knee hugs, which we've been doing all along. We're going to do one leg at a time, so bringing one knee up to the chest, bring the other knee up to the chest. Sometimes you've got a little bit of backache, holding your leg in this position and just pushing your thigh into your hand sometimes can help with any sort of mild discomfort in the back. And then relax. You might do that same on the other side. So just push the back of your thigh into your hands, ever so slightly resisting. Sometimes that can just take away a little bit of discomfort. And then you bring both knees up to your chest. Stretch it all out. And put your feet together. Now let your knees roll one way. Make sure they're on top of each other, as my sister pointed out. I don't always do that. I apologise. Arms out either side of you, and you're going to turn your head the opposite way to your knees. You may find that's quite uncomfortable and you can't do it with two legs. If that's the case, do it with one leg. So straighten one leg out, have the other one bent, and just let it roll over. That's a very similar effect, and you don't have to worry too much about what your upper body's doing, because your hips will do the job for you. Then come up. If you can do two legs, do two legs. If that's too much, have your leg straight, let your knee roll over, and often that will feel much more doable. Okay, I'm going to come up and back to do a stretch on the chair. And this one is because we've worked the low back and the glutes quite a lot. So sitting on your chair, bring you up a little bit again, sorry about all this movement. Put your opposite knee, your foot on your opposite knee, and just stretch yourself opposite shoulder to opposite knee. You'll feel the stretch in the buttock a little bit, maybe a little bit down the side of the leg. Again, if you are only able to do that movement, that's all you need to do. It's just starting to introduce that range of movement to you. Swap sides. So if you can do full range of movement, lovely. If that's your movement, that's your movement. Don't worry about it. We'll get there in the end. Lovely. Okay, so that's all the stretches you want to hold for 15 to 25 seconds. Some of the ones where you're bringing your knees up to your chest can be quite nice, held for half a minute, whatever's comfortable. None of them should give you any pain. A stretch should feel like a stretch, not pains. You may feel a bit stiff, but you should not get any more symptoms or new symptoms. And hopefully you should feel nicer and a bit more mobile afterwards. So we're just going to finish off with our balance. Just test that balance ever so slightly. So good one to do when you're cleaning your teeth. Rest your hands on the basin as much or as little as you like. Lift your leg up and just let the foot and leg work hard. You may find again you want a little bit of tension through your lower abs, a little bit of tension through your bottom. And let your brain work out where your body is in space. And change sides. If one leg is too much, start off with bringing your feet together to check the basins there. And how does that feel? Some people, that can be quite uncomfortable for some people, and that's not unusual. It's just a case of building up the balance. Okay, so back to one leg. Then to strengthen, we're going to just go back to the first leg we stood on. Just going to let my hip drop and stick my other hip out to the side. So as you bring your hips back up to be square, so they're now level, you're working the muscles all around the hips, the pelvis, and the brain's working to keep you stable. If you need balance support, use this chair. Okay, and then change sides. Lift your leg, let your hips stick out. And then lifting your pelvis. And lifting your pelvis. And this whole time should be a little bit of tension through your lower abs. Tension through your lower abs is quite good when you're walking. Just helps you think about where your body is and your posture. Okay, so hopefully that was of some use to you and you've enjoyed your session. I will be back again on Saturday today. I'm losing days of the week. It's Saturday today, so it's Tuesday at 5:30. If you have any questions, queries, or just want to give me some feedback, please email me info@stonehengeosteopath.co.uk. Thank you very much for your time.